watched her in Munich, and she seriously has Trump derangement syndrome.
Do you think that she should publicly testify?
You know, I've been totally exonerated on Epstein, and it's really interesting because they've been pulled in. Think of it, they've been pulled in.
Good morning and welcome to Good Day Chicago. I'm Brian Jackson. We begin with some breaking news this morning. Civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson has died at the age of 84. He died peacefully earlier this morning, surrounded by his family. Jackson's family released a statement this morning saying, quote, his unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and human rights helped shape a global movement for freedom and dignity. A tireless change agent, he elevated the voices of the voiceless. Our own Dawn Hasbrook has a look back at the life of Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Put your hands together for our leader, the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson.
He was a civil rights leader, a politician, and community activist. Jesse Louis Jackson was born October 8, 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina. He met Jacqueline Lavinia Brown, and they were married in 1962. Together, they had 5 children. It was in a time of civil unrest and the height of the civil rights movement.
Will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream.
He went to work for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and was with King when he was assassinated in 1968. It was after Dr. King's death that Jackson took the reins and became known as one of the premier leaders of the civil rights movement. In 1971, he founded a group that would later be called People United to Serve Humanity, or Operation Push. In 1984, Jesse Jackson ran for the 1984 Democratic presidential nomination, but lost to Walter Mondale. He tried again in 1988 and landed in second place in the Democratic primaries, falling to then Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis. Jackson transitioned his activism from protest to politics. It was at about the same time that he formed a group he named the National Rainbow Coalition, because it was made up of people from all races and ethnic backgrounds.
That is the unfinished business that I'm about, fighting for equal opportunity for all Americans and peace in the world.
Congratulations.
During his lifetime, Reverend Jackson collected more than 35 honorary degrees and was recognized over and over for his efforts to help those less fortunate. In 2017, Reverend Jackson was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, but he still kept a public face. In September 2021, he and his wife were hospitalized with COVID. He had been vaccinated, she had not. It affected his Parkinson's and his ability to walk and talk, and he had to undergo intensive therapy. But before long, he was back in the public eye doing what he did best, protesting injustice and bringing attention to issues for the less fortunate. Jackson once said, "Never look down on anybody unless you are helping him up." It was a mantra he lived by, one he's inspired others to continue as he leaves a significant legacy behind that helped pave the way for the modern civil rights movement we all know today. In August of 2024, the giant in the civil rights movement was honored at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago.
His contributions are innumerable. His impact and his work are in both places and ways that many people don't know. You know, I say it this way: his fingerprints are places where you might not have seen his footprints. His hands were all over so many things. Many people remember the auto bailout. Reverend Jackson was behind that. McDonald's expanding in African-American communities with tons of African-American owners and board seats. That's Reverend Jackson. And so many other things around the world. So glad that the DNC paused to give him his flowers that he deserves so much.
And in October of 2024, the city of Chicago that he has called home since 1966 gave him the key to the city.
And what a fitting way to wish Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson a very happy birthday, giving him a key to the city he is truly considered to be his home. I think it is entirely appropriate to give great men and great women flowers while they can still smell them.
Use love to motivate you and obligate you to serve the human family. Young America, dream!
We will continue to follow this story all morning long, looking back on the life and career of Reverend Jackson. Time is now 4:34 this morning. Also breaking, a teen is recovering after he was shot downtown. Police said that the 14-year-old was shot along East Washington Street. He was shot in the foot and taken to Lurie Children's Hospital in fair condition. Right now, there's no word on what led to the shooting. There's now a nationwide search for a Blue Island father. Dan Davis has not been seen since November. He was last seen near Bourbon Street in Blue Island back on November the 26th. Multiple city and state agencies have assisted with the search efforts. His daughter is now organizing a nationwide Find Dan Day. This is happening this weekend, where people from anywhere in the country can help search either online by sharing his flyer or on foot.
So there's going to be some zone maps released like what we've done in the past, so people can choose their section, stick to that area for the day and do some door-to-door. They can hand out flyers. There's a bunch of different ideas for that. And then people who want to help remotely, they can make posts about my dad. They can share stuff on social media. They can call very local hospitals and news stations and stuff like that, because again, truly he could be anywhere. Although we found no clues as to like any preemptive, like a plan to leave or anything written down or anything like that. I mean, my dad would never, ever, ever do this to his job. He wouldn't do it to me, especially around the holidays.
If you would like to assist in the search, you can head to foxchicago.com. We have all the details for you right there. Thomas Pritzker, the cousin of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, is resigning as the executive chairman of Hyatt Hotels. That decision comes after his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Recent released documents show that the two exchanged at least 20 emails. This happened for years after Epstein's plea deal on sex crime charges. Thomas Pritzker has not been accused of any wrongdoing or has been named in any investigations. Now in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the sheriff's office is now ruling out any involvement of a Guthrie family member. Investigators also focused on a glove found a few miles from Nancy's Tucson home. They say that it contains DNA that appears to match the glove worn by the masked person outside of her home the night she disappeared. Testing for the DNA could be completed later today, which would determine if it matches anyone in the national database.
You're going to do your best to at least eliminate some innocent reason why that DNA is there. Without that, at least it could give you potential leads to move on moving forward.
Meanwhile, TMZ says it has received a fourth email from a person claiming to know who kidnapped Nancy Guthrie. The senders once again demanding $50,000 in Bitcoin up front. The top three candidates in the Democratic primary race for the state's open U.S. Senate seat were right here in our studio for a debate last night. Representatives Robin Kelly, Raja Krishnamurthy, and Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton are all running for the seat currently occupied by Senator Dick Durbin. Last night, they talked about the ramp up of immigration enforcement and funding for the Department of Homeland Security.
What I've said is abolish Trump's ICE. So what that means is the following has to happen for me to send a single more dollar to ICE or CBP or DHS at this point. One, Kristi Noem has got to go. Either she's fired or, as Robin's bill calls for, impeaching her. Secondly, the masks have to come off, ID has to go on, body cameras have to go on, no more warrantless arrests. There must be third-party investigations of the use of force, excessive force, as you've investigated. And then there can't be roving gangs of ICE and CBP agents.
Replace, dismantle Homeland Security, period. ICE is a part of that. The Border Patrol is a part of it. It was the Border Patrol agents that killed Alex Preddy. The agency that deals with asylum and citizenship, to me, all of it needs to be redone, revamped, revised.
I'm making it clear I want to abolish ICE, period. And we need to make sure that I would not give my vote to fund ICE. I want to see ICE and CBP out of our American cities. They've invaded and occupied our American cities. I don't want them to have any immunity. And any of those federal agents should be prosecuted, investigated, and prosecuted for breaking any laws. We're seeing the terror that they have inflicted upon our communities. Border Patrol should be at the border. We shouldn't see Border Patrol agents walking up and down Michigan Avenue, for example.
The primary is scheduled for Tuesday, March 17th. And make sure to join us tonight at 6 for another debate right here on Fox Chicago. We'll be hearing from current Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle and her challenger, Alderman Brendan Riley. Well, today is the first day of the Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival in China. Festivities are underway in Hong Kong to mark the Year of the Horse. Crowds gather to light and plant incense sticks as they make wishes for the new year. Today's also Fat Tuesday. For many, it is the last day of eating some of those rich and fatty foods that we all love before the Christian fasting season of Lent begins tomorrow. It is a 40-day period of prayer and fasting leading up to Easter. Bakeries all over are celebrating with Punchki, a Polish-filled donut. Well, back here at home, we're enjoying a winter warm-up here in Mike, it felt like some baseball weather yesterday for sure.
Tell you, they could have played at either ballpark, right? All right, well, the Cubs held their first full squad workout at spring training. This season will be the 10-year anniversary of the 2016 World Series championship. Well, after a total sell-off, the Cubs have rebuilt, and they are considered strong contenders, especially in that division. Now, while there's anticipation for a work stoppage next season, Chairman Tom Ricketts said, enjoy this season, and he's hoping it's a good one on the north side.
Obviously, we want to win the division. We should win the division. It's just a matter of executing and staying healthy, and I think we should be right there. We just have to win more World Series. I mean, it's about winning. I mean, all this other stuff, it all leads to one thing, and that's about winning. And we just have to put the kind of teams on the field that can be in the playoffs every year and get back on top.
Ding, 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 ding. Agreed. All right, the Illini generating a lot of buzz, both locally and nationally, for the season they're having. They dropped to 10th in the latest AP poll after losses to Michigan State and Wisconsin last week, but they sit in second place in the Big Ten with 21 wins. They're getting huge contributions from freshmen Keaton Wagler and David Mirkovich, part of the reason why the Illini have what it takes to cut down the nets in March.
The key for Illinois is they have so many answers offensively. They have so much talent, so much experience. They have 5 or 6 guys that should be able to play in the NBA. It's how much can they play defense, which is why Boswell's return is so important, why Andrei Stojakovic, one of their better perimeter defenders, they get him back. Then all of a sudden, maybe this becomes the 25th best defense in the country. You pair that with the best offense that we've ever seen in the Ken Pom era, which is the last 30 years. Then this team has a chance to get to the Final Four.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to want to play the Illini. They can score. We have another winner in Weatherland today. Yesterday, we crushed the record high of 58 with a 65. Today, I think we can hit 60-plus again. However, it will be a little bit cooler at the lakefront this afternoon. 49 at 9, 57 at noon, and there will be 60 degrees at 4 o'clock, but it'll probably be in the upper 40s right against the lakeshore at that time. Currently 44 at the lake, 38 at Joliet, 40 at Woodstock. This time of year, 36 or so is the normal high. 45 at Gary and Michigan City, Valparaiso 41. Looking at our future cast, we're going to see a mixture of clouds and sunshine today, but I think it'll be enough sunshine to get us into the low 60s. I know I'm a little bit higher than a lot of the point-and-click forecasts that you might be looking at. Small chance of a shower very late this afternoon. I think most of the rain's coming in here after dark. There's the 8 o'clock, some showers. Maybe a second wave coming through here 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's out of here by daybreak tomorrow. And with all that sunshine coming tomorrow, I think tomorrow's going to be even warmer than today. So I think low 60s today, mid 60s tomorrow, with the next storm system not arriving until Thursday afternoon. That will be a cloudier day, but I still think we can maybe get to 60 on Thursday. So today, 62, mostly cloudy, unseasonably warm. It will turn cooler by the lakefront tonight. Temperatures only drop to 50. Scattered showers, maybe even a clap of thunder mixed in with that. Quick look at the 7-day, 62, 65, 60. Then we back temperatures off. Over the weekend, highs will only be in the 30s, not far from normal, Brian.
Coming up, a shooting inside of an arena during a youth hockey game leaves 3 people dead. We'll tell you what police are now saying. We continue to follow breaking news this morning. Civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson has died at the age of 84. He died peacefully earlier this morning, surrounded by his family. He was diagnosed with a neurological disorder known as progressive supranuclear palsy. He was also suffering from Parkinson's disease. Along with being a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, he was also the founder of the Rainbow Push Coalition. Also breaking this morning, a teen is now recovering after he was shot downtown. Police said that the 14-year-old was shot along East Washington Street. He was shot in the foot and taken to Lurie Children's Hospital in fair condition. And the search for Nancy Guthrie, the sheriff's office is now ruling out any involvement of a Guthrie family member. Investigators are also focused on a new glove found miles away from Nancy's Tucson home. Testing for the DNA could be completed later today, which would determine if it matches anyone in the national database. 3 people are dead and 3 others are injured following a shooting during a youth hockey game at a Rhode Island ice rink. This happened in Pawtucket, just a few miles outside of Providence. Police say a man opened fire, killing his wife and daughter before turning the gun on himself. It's believed to have stemmed from a family dispute. The town's mayor is calling on the community for support following this tragedy.
Together, we need to embrace resiliency while we're fostering the environment of compassion prevails overall. We will do our best to keep the public and the media informed as the investigation unfolds.
Police say that the shooting was interrupted by a, quote, Good Samaritan who brought a, quote, swift end to this tragic event. A second round of negotiations between the United States and Iran will be held today. They're discussing Tehran's nuclear program. Ahead of that meeting, President Trump ordered an additional aircraft carrier into the region. In response, Iran launched a naval drill, according to state TV. The Trump administration wants the deal to limit Iran's nuclear program and ensure it does not develop any nuclear weapons. Well, Hollywood is remembering the life and legacy of actor Robert Duvall. According to a Facebook post from his wife, the Oscar-winning actor passed away at his home surrounded by loved ones on Sunday. Duvall is best known for his roles in The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. His career spans 7 decades and earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor at the 1983 film Tender Mercies. Robert Duvall was 95 years old. Time is now 4:49 this morning. Checking back in with Mike. We had some really beautiful temperatures out there yesterday.
Yes.
Will we get a repeat today?
Kinda. Maybe not as warm, not as sunny. I was just thinking of Robert Duvall. Is such a great actor. And I think his first major role, he didn't even speak in it.
Wow.
In To Kill a Mockingbird, he played Boo Radley, and it was just terrific in that without actually speaking. A great loss. All right, we have 2 great losses today. Weather-wise, we're in good shape. And in fact, the extended temperature outlook still looks warm. This is the outlook for February 25th, so a week from tomorrow through March the 3rd. High confidence in it staying warmer than normal overall for that period, just as we will be for the next week. Now, that doesn't mean we can't have an intrusion briefly of some colder air, which we will over the weekend. Today, I think we can hit 62 degrees. Southeast winds, yes, it's going to make it cooler at the lakefront, mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few scattered showers, mainly light rain, but there could be a clap of thunder mixed in. Temperatures not going too far down, a low of 50. That leads to a high of the mid-60s tomorrow, and then 60 on Thursday with some showers late in the day, late at night, ending 45 on Friday. And there's that chillier air arriving just in time for the weekend, right?
The IHSA is making some changes to the upcoming football season. We'll tell you how it will impact both the practice schedule and the playoffs.
Chicago.
The DuSable Black History Museum and Education Center is celebrating its 65th anniversary. It's the first independent museum dedicated to the documentation, study, preservation, and collection of African American history, art, and culture worldwide. Dr. Margaret Burroughs established the museum back in 1961. It was first called the Ebony Museum of Negro History and Art. It has grown to be a space for exhibits, programs, and special events.
This institution started off as the Ebony Museum of Negro History, and it started off in her house. The thing that you start in your house can grow into America's first private, independent Black History Museum in the nation. Since then, this has been a place that has lifted up artists.
The museum has a special Black History Month schedule and is open every day this month from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. But there's an exciting milestone planned for today as crews continue the work on the new Ryan Field up in Evanston. Stadium's first seat will be installed later this morning. It is one of 35,000 seats at the new stadium for Northwestern football. The stadium is set to open for the upcoming season. First game at the new Ryan Field will be held on Friday, October 2nd against Penn State. Well, if you're the parent of an Illinois high school football player, the summer is about to get a little bit shorter. The IHSA says member schools have voted to move the start of practice for the upcoming season to August 5th. That is 5 days earlier than what was originally scheduled. The earlier start comes after members schools voted in December to expand the playoffs by 1 week. Each player will be required to complete 12 days on-field practice before they're eligible to compete in their first game.
A lot of our teams are putting in work and having camps and things throughout the summer, but we know that not every student athlete has that opportunity. There are students who are going to have to work throughout the summer, or who might be out of the state or out of the country or doing other things. And for some of them, it's going to be their first day, that first day of practice where they've done anything and they may not be in shape. So that whole process just really helps them to acclimatize to the heat, as well as to the different equipment, and then just get them kind of a slow build to get ready for the season.
Expanding the playoffs by 1 week also means adding extra teams across all 8 classes. 384 teams will compete in the playoffs. That is nearly 130 more than before. So definitely good luck to all the guys playing high school football. Mike, I do not miss those days of two-a-days. The August
you
summer
don't miss
heat.
that?
No. Miss playing on Friday night, but not two-a-days. Yeah.
When it's 95 and the humidity is sky high, you didn't like that?
No.
Oh boy. All right. Well, it was ideal weather yesterday, almost for any time of year. I'll take a 65 any old time. That blew away the old record, and I think today, while it won't be a record breaker, I still think we can get into the low 60s. It's 42 at O'Hare right now. Not much wind, south wind at 6 miles per hour. The wind is going to impact temperatures later today, however, because there's going to be an east component. We see that a lot in springtime, but sometimes it happens in winter. Consequently, mid-afternoon temperatures will likely drop places like Waukegan, Lake Forest, Evanston, and the lakefront, maybe into the 40s after getting into the 50s. But my number, that's my number, notice how it's higher than pretty much all of the other computer model generated numbers. I think we can get to 62 for the official high today. Let's see. A lot of times I will roll the dice. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Tomorrow, I think safely well into the 60s. In fact, I think we can be maybe mid-60s here tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. The only thing holding us back today will be a little bit more cloud cover. Now, what about rain? Yes, there's a small chance of something sneaking in here late this afternoon. I just really think everything is happening after dark. We have a wave of showers coming through. This is about 8 o'clock and some light rain there. And then perhaps a secondary shot of a few showers, which could even be accompanied by a flash of lightning mixed in here wee hours in the morning. But by daybreak tomorrow, this stuff is out of here. And look what happens to temperatures after that system passes to our east. We're headed for the mid-60s tomorrow. 60 on Thursday, if we can get a few dry hours before the next round of showers arrives in the afternoon and evening. That'll end by daybreak Friday with falling temperatures, a high of 45 though. Then over the weekend, just kind of more typical stuff for mid to late February with highs in the mid to upper 30s. 4:57. We'll be right back with more Good Day after this.